Hey, this is Jim Horn with another black and white photography podcast. And really, we're talking about all photography, aren't we? Got a sort of a sad story, and that relates to the title of this podcast. I'll miss Harry. Harry Kimball actually, Dr. Harry Kimball was a very dear friend of mine who passed away in March of this year. But the reason I wanted to talk about Harry is because I think if you've been in this photography gig for a long time, we all have a Harry. This is a guy that you're going to do a lot of workshops with. You're going to go on a lot of field trips with. And that was Harry. It was Dr. Harry Kimball. I first met Harry about 10 or 12 years ago. He came into the Tucson Camera Club and introduced himself and said he was organizing a group uh, of 7 landscape photographers, all black and white, that he wanted to get together, make field trips, show images together. In other words, a close knit group that could have a good time together. And so Harry organized the group. The first meeting was in Tucson, Arizona. The 7 of us met, and we had a great time. We instantly bonded, and that's because we all love photography. We had all been doing it for at that particular time about 40 or 50 years, and we were all black and white photographers, and we had come from the film business. So when I say the film business, I mean developing film and black and white film primarily. And we knew a lot of, we did workshops with some of the best photographers in the world at that time when we were just learning the craft. But Harry was interesting because not only did Harry organize the trips for the Tucson 7, he also was a great inspiration for me. Harry and I went on many field trips together. We went on a lot of workshops together. He was an inspiration. He was the first one up in the morning, and he was the last one out of the field when we were taking photographs. And I'm sure we all, if we've been doing this thing a long time, I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about, and those good photography friends that you just want to keep taking photographs with forever. Unfortunately, Harry's wife became very sick, and the last 2 or 3 years of his life, he really spent taking care of his beautiful wife, Nancy. She passed away, and Harry wanted to really gear up again on photography. He had reduced his workshop exposure and had reduced his exposure with the Tucson 7 group. And so Harry and I went out and continued to make trips. We went to the Goblins. We went to Tombstone, Arizona. We went to all different places. I tried to count the number of trips that Harry and I made together, and probably 15 or 25 individual trips, not including the Tucson 7. And Harry was an inspiration, and I'm sure we all have a Harry. And that's the tribute of this podcast. It's to all those Harry Kimballs that have helped us get along in photography, that have pushed us, that have sort of paved the way for doing new things and, saying, hey, maybe we ought to try this, or maybe we ought to try that. Or, I've got this new printer I want to talk to you about, and, what do you think? And so anyway, it just was great. Anyway, I wanted to do this podcast in lasting memory to Dr. Harry Kimball, but more importantly, also to all of the Harry Kimballs that are out there that help push us through our photographic doldrums and help us succeed. So, Dr. Harry Kimball and all the Harry Kimballs, if you're looking down upon us, thank God you were there. You really served as some great inspiration.